In this video, we are going to discuss phone lines, one of the basic concepts in the cloud PBX scenario. If you like our video tutorials, don't forget to hit the subscribe and like buttons below. The purpose of a phone line is, first of all, to identify the end user. Our test cloud PBX customer, ABC Enterprise, has 20 employees, all of whom communicate with each other and with their customers on a daily basis. Each employee uses their own phone line, which in its turn identifies them. Usually, phone lines are registered on a physical device, for example, an IP phone on the user's desk. However, it's quite common for people to register their phone lines on a soft phone, which runs on a computer or a smartphone, or in a calling app that can be accessed through a web browser on a web page. Phone lines are also used for billing purposes. At the end of the billing period, the PBX customer receives an invoice where all usage charges for calls are listed per phone line. If a company employee decides to use their personal phone line to make expensive international calls, for example, calls that are totally unrelated to their job, this can easily be traced back to them. Each phone line is defined by a pair of a SIP login and password. To enable a physical or virtual SIP device to register to a SIP server, it is necessary to specify these credentials in the phone configuration. You can enter the credentials manually, or you can associate a phone line with a particular device using its MAC address and configure the phone to automatically retrieve the configuration from PortaSwitch, in which case the phone will be automatically provisioned with SIP configurations and credentials. Why is SIP registration needed? When the SIP server receives an incoming call, it needs to know how to reach the IP phone, which can be anywhere in the world. SIP registration is the process during which the phone provides its location to PortaSIP. So when the SIP server receives an incoming call, it can easily locate the IP phone and establish a connection. The next property is product. Each phone line, which is represented by an account in PortaSwitch, must have a product assigned to it. It's the product which defines the tariff that is used to charge for the calls and the destinations that are allowed. If international destinations are forbidden in the product, the company employees won't have the possibility to place international calls. The product also defines which bundles of free minutes are included for a specific destination or group of destinations. For example, 500 free minutes to the EU. It defines the monthly recurring charge and the default feature configuration. For example, call forwarding may be turned on or off by default. Additional features such as voicemail or call recording can be activated for an additional fee as a part of an add-on or optional product. How can a phone line be reached? First of all, from within the company network, from within the same cloud PBX environment. In this case, each phone line is assigned a short number, also called an extension. Companies have phone directories that list employees' extensions by department. For example, any company employee can call John in the marketing department by dialing 1000 from inside the same cloud PBX environment. And it doesn't really matter where the offices of ABC Enterprise are located. They can be located in the same building, in different cities, or in different countries. As long as the company extensions belong to the same PBX environment, employees can call each other by dialing extensions. If, on the other hand, John's customer wants to contact him, they can call the main company number, the DID number, and when the auto attendant picks up, enter John's extension. But this is not a very convenient way to call John because only the main company number can be saved in the phone book. The extension can only be entered after the prompt by auto attendant. And John's extension number 1000 is not reachable directly from a stationary or mobile phone. To be easily reachable from the outside world, John needs to have a DID number assigned to his phone line. Usually, the DID number defines the country and the region within the country. For example, a DID number in Barcelona, Spain would start with +34 for the country code and 93 for the area code. So if John's phone line is assigned a DID number, John's customers can reach him by dialing this number directly on any device. Now let's switch to our web interface and see some examples of phone lines. Let's open our customer test enterprise and go to accounts. Each phone line is represented by an account in PortaBilling. The customer already has one account. Let's go to the Create tab and add one more account. Account ID will be used as unique SIP login needed for account registration. The format I'm going to use for the account ID is the following. PH stands for the phone line. 7797 is the unique customer ID in the system iCustomer, which can be found in the URL. And X stands for the extension. 1000 is the extension number. We need to keep this format to keep things compatible with accounts that will be created later on by the customer himself on the self-care portal. Let's say extension 1001. Product is a mandatory account attribute. I know I keep saying this a lot, but this is because it's really important, of course. It's going to be basic cloud PBX. Service password or SIP password can be either entered manually or generated automatically. Make sure it's something impossible to guess. I'm going to generate mine. Account type credit with subordinate balance control means that this account won't be using individual credit limit. All usage charges generated by the account will directly influence the customer's balance. Let's click Save. The account has been created, but we haven't assigned any extensions or DID numbers to it yet. Let's go to Personal Info, General Info, Additional Info, and Auto Provisioning to associate a device with this account. We're going to choose the device type CPE, and the device model is going to be Yealink SIP T20P. And in the next drop-down, we choose a device ID from the list of available devices. And next we choose CPE port 2. When we click Save, the system will generate a configuration file that includes network settings and SIP login password pair. As soon as the device is connected to the network, it will be automatically registered in the system using the SIP login password pair, assuming the phone is already configured to retrieve the configuration from PortaSwitch. This operation will let the system know which IP address should be used to deliver incoming calls to this device. In our next video, we're going to have a look at extensions and even create a sample extension on our Cloud PBX self-care portal.